Recently. I am Mark Otabo. President Tinubu addresses joint session of National Assembly, says no to one-party state. Also, defections push APC members to 68 in Senate, 207 in reps. And later on the show, Wike rallies PDP stakeholders, reiterates G5 stance on 2023 elections. All the details in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. Nigeria earlier in the week marked 25 years of uninterrupted democratic governance with activities across the country to commemorate Democracy Day on June 12. As part of the day's events, President Bola Tinubu addressed a joint seating of the National Assembly, paying tribute to democratic icons and those who contributed to Nigeria's democratic journey. The president also responded to criticism from the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), which accused him of turning Nigeria into a one-party state. In his remarks, President Tinubu urged the PDP to resolve its internal issues, which he said were fueling defections to the ruling All Progressives Congress. He emphasized that the APC has no agenda to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Now my guests are communications consultant and CEO, chronicler and associate, Akin Fatunke, right here in the studio with me. Good to have you on the show, sir.
Always a pleasure to be with you here, Mike. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Well aerated studio. Others say the aesthetics.
Absolutely.
I talk about the air that pervades.
Yeah, we'll get to all of that. We'll get to all of that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I also have legal luminary, lawyer Olayinka Daniels, joining us via Zoom. Olayinka Daniels, thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Good evening, viewers.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Now,
good evening.
I'll come to you already. Akin Fatunke, quickly. The president breaking protocol to address a joint seating at the parliament away from the traditional national broadcast. How did that come off to you as an individual who's been quite in the political sphere for a while?
Well, as a communicator, it comes as being creative. It comes as again, aligning state of nation address. I am not aware of any convention that says he cannot go to the marketplace.
Okay.
No, he could not go to the National Assembly. And I think Mr. President made it succinctly clear that he was coming to that National Assembly, recognizing the National Assembly as the elected representatives of the people. I also like a situation whereby, in my opinion, you use the word for the very first time. Yes, I dare say for the very first time, I didn't see as much an acrimony between the members of the National Assembly, come, don't come, and all that kind of
the back and forth. Yeah.
And so it was poised. When he started, my other impression from the aesthetics is that we have about 57 paragraphs of where Mr. President went ahead, recognized, first of all, problems,
yes,
recognized also challenges, also recognized areas where improvements are being chalked up, not El Dorado. Development will come, they are coming in trickles.
Yeah.
And so I must, should I say this last or should I say this first? Must raise my glass.
Okay.
I must raise my glass to the speechwriters of Mr. President.
Okay.
They went very creative. It was lucid prose,
right,
clear, no jargons.
Okay. Straightforward.
Pit humor,
right,
and then, of course, trying to make a light out of the issues surrounding our politics.
Absolutely.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Politics, the politics and the and political parties. I think to me it came in style.
Okay.
It came in content. It came in language.
Okay.
Clear and lucid for everybody
to understand.
All
right. All right, Olayinka Daniels, quickly. Now, the president's rejection of a one-party state suggests a commitment to democratic variety. Now, How do you think he plans to strengthen multi-party democracy and ensure a level playing field for opposition parties?
Olayinka Daniels, are you there? Mr. President too well. Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
You can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Yes. I said if you know him too well, if you know Mr. President too well, even while other people were moving to a political party, if you remember vividly, when he was...
Hello, Olayinka, are you there?
Was governor of Lagos State.
Okay.
He stayed put in his party, opposition party. He saw what he had, they called him, even when he was not the ruling party at the federal level, if you remember vividly. So he's not someone in his own time as a president that would then agitate or ask for, a single political party. We can't see that happening. The array. And I think Mr. President leaned them to put their house in order. Want to contest and you want to beat, the margin to a ruling party, then you should put your house in order and you should do what is needful. You should not, if your house is in disarray, you cannot then be crying wolf of a particular president trying to make the party a single party. So if people are leaving a political party to the others, so you cannot blame the party that they are moving to.
All right.
You should check their house. What are they saying? Why are they moving to this party? The law is clear. If your party is in disarray, you have every right to leave that party to move to the other party. The law is clear about that. Okay. So if they are doing that, the question they should ask themselves, what they should be looking at is putting their house in order so that their people will not leave their political party and move to the other party, particularly if the other party is working hard to see that he gives good governance to his people.
All right, Akin, quickly, I know we'll get back to that one-party discussion, but I have this question for you. Now, they say a vibrant democracy depends on citizens' participation beyond elections. Now, what role would you suggest the civil society organizations and youth movement begin to play in the administration's democratic process now?
Mobilization.
Okay.
Mobilize and mobilize more. Not everybody can speak Queen's English and grammar like you are speaking, and I can hear you. It's a privilege. There are many people who will not understand. So that is number one. Number two, there are people who have made up their minds. Right. Like Mike, I think you've just made up your mind that you are going to be in suits. Okay. I have suits too, I'm not wearing. And I am sure that you have native.
Of course.
You have decided that maybe in alignment with the professional ethics you're going to, nothing says that you should not
break protocol
or break protocol. So if you and I can have a mindset that way, then you can imagine the vast majority of people who are divided along ethnic lines. You know that. You know they're divided along religious lines, and are also divided seriously by way of our elite disconsensus. Just not want to agree. It is not what you look at that matters. It is actually what you decided to see. And a leader and leaders, NGOs, civil service organizations must jump out from the throats of being one pretender. Secondly, this is the man I like. And this is the man that speaks to my religion. This is the man that I think will do it for me. This is the man that I think has not marginalized me and my people, for them to begin to see beyond that. So go to the marketplace, begin to translate this as much as possible.
Okay.
And
So in general consensus, you're saying mobilization?
Mobilization,
Okay.
and then, Mike, it is not my intention to throw you under the bus.
Okay.
But when I talk about the media, I just use you as a point of contact.
All right.
That the point of contact for the media really should be the gatekeeper.
Okay.
The media, in doing this, yes, of course, you have your biases, but you should really be the gatekeeper. Know what to accept.
But we try to balance issues here on TVC.
And
Actually, we do that.
And know what you should, what you should not expect.
Yeah.
Always remembering.
Okay.
Rwanda, 1984. That the wrong speech made or the wrong statement made
could be very chaotic.
can throw people into
Okay.
a kind of chaos, and then allow them to, and then make sure that election counts.
Okay.
Go after making sure that the processes are there.
Okay.
If the process says, for instance, it's a woman that you want in a particular position by consensus, so be it.
So be it. Okay. Olayinka Daniels, quickly now, with the way the president addressed the joint sitting of the parliament, how would you say he was able to, put his weight on the June 12 heroes, and how he was able to cover, the whole June 12 conversation? From your perspective as a legal luminary, what's your assessment of the way he was able to hold his, ground with the whole June 12 situation? Can you hear me? Okay, I think we have issues with connecting with Olayinka Daniels there. Now, Akin, before we establish communications with him, with the way the president was able to hold sway with his conversation around the June 12, which will forever remain in the fabrics of our history, how would you say he delivered on that, conversation of June 12?
Before the delivery, I like to say that I saw for the very first time a gentleman in our president who saw the opportunity that others saw but didn't act on and decided to do something. Secondly, I believe that for whatever reason, my view now is that in 1993, 1994, I had a privilege, because then it was in ExxonMobil, I had a privilege to visit Mr. President. Okay. At that time, he had just left, not too long, left Mobile and then went into politics. And so he was detained by the goons of Abacha. I remember very, very well. And the point I want to make here is that he was there at Alagbo there in short knickers. I saw him with Ame Ebute and the former vice chancellor of Obafemi Awolowo University at that time. And on seeing me, one of the things that Mr. President says, it has a bearing to your question, is that yes, now the strikes are likely to start. Please give Kokori, who was leading the Nupeng at that time, give him all the support. The oil companies, we must make sure we try to restore. And Kokori wrote a treatise. The late Kokori wrote a treatise. He was talking about the heroes of democracy. And he mentioned 10. Out of these 10, in my considered opinion, Mr. President honored the memory of Kokori one way or the other by acknowledging many of them. Well, a couple were not. People like, I am really not too sure about Agbakuba,
But
Frederick Fashewu, and stuff
there are
like
conversations that hopefully the next one would cover most of the names that weren't covered.
I must not fail to also say that it's just like exams. Give me an exam, I will make an attempt. I may not be able to answer all the questions. Make an attempt. There will be people that are left either because of politics or no politics, or people that are just left for reasons beyond practicality. How are you going to quantify those people that died at my 2, my 12, in Abuja, people that are unsung and all that? So there will always be another time. I say political brinkmanship on the part of Mr. President, who has the power and who has decided to wield that power very positively on the side of democracy.
Fantastic. Now, Akin, quickly, before we still hopefully try to establish contact with Olayinka, now many young people feel disconnected from the political system. Now, this undermines long-term democratic development for the country. Now, how can this be rectified, and where should the healing process begin from?
The healing process should begin from certain examples. Mike, I tell you, beyond my capacity to come here and speak a lot of English or grammar, as you say, must be an enthroning desire that I should have capacity, I should have competence, I should have character, and I should have a consciousness that others before me. So disconnect is coming from the low-hanging fruits that I have consistently said. This president, this APC that are riding high must take note of. Example, the way you dress, the way you talk to others, the way you go in a convoy of cars and all that. Yes, I know about security or not security. The way those who surround you, those in the National Assembly that people are saying rubber stamps are all doing certain things.
So practically what you're saying is
and the way some of your rising stars, and I can just mention two. Nelson Wike is one example, and Engineer Umahi is just another example. Let me pick Wike. Great doing his job the way he should do his job. But the long hangers, I don't like to see Wike in a Rolls Royce. Yes, he can afford it, but look,
don't display it.
It's just not necessary. And this development must now come and trickle down
to the grassroots.
To the grassroots. Speak their language, let them know. One, two, Mr. President. And Mr. President should come to terms with the reality, Mike, that there is no way he can ever, no matter the power he has, do it alone. The subnationals must also be encouraged to do what is right so they can all align and help us tame inflation, help us tame hunger, and then look at more of the development for the long term.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll go on a quick break now, and of course, Newsweek continues in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. The All Progressives Congress APC has significantly increased its representation in the 10th National Assembly, now holding 68 seats in the Senate and approximately 207 seats in the House of Representatives, 2 years into the Assembly's tenure. At the inauguration of the 10th Assembly, the Senate was composed as follows: APC with 59 seats, the PDP with 36, Labour Party with 8, Social Democratic Party with 2, New Nigeria People's Party NNPP with 2, All Progressives Grand Alliance with 1, and the Young Progressives Party with 1. However, following a series of defections, the current Senate configuration has shifted. APC now controls 68 seats, PDP has dropped to 30, LP holds 5, and of course SDP and APGA retain 2 and 1 seats respectively, while NNPP just holds 1. The 2 seats from one Edo State and another from Anambra remain vacant. There are also indications that APC's strength in the Senate may increase further, possibly reaching 70 seats. This speculation follows recent remarks by Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu suggesting a possible departure from the SDP due to ideological differences with former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. All right, Olayinka Daniels, I understand perfectly you're finally there now. Thank you very much for coming on. Now, the latest defections swelling the numbers for APC. Are these defections based on personal interest or constituency needs? And how are the constituents reacting to these switches in party allegiance, from your perspective?
Well, from my perspective, I would say one thing about politics is about personal interest.
Right.
I mean, yes, it's a personal interest. So before anybody consider its constituency, because the truth is, the constituency they are leading, did they seek the permission? Were they informed of their defection before the defection was made? So these are the questions, you know. But then, like we said in one of the programs, if there is a disarray, if a political party, you belong to a political party and there is no room for you to work, there is no room for you to do your job, as in to represent your people peacefully, of course, you have every right to move to the other party to do same, provided the people that gave you this mandate are aware of this movement. But in this part of the world, what we've been seeing so far in many of this movement, defection, is most majority of them are just personal interest. Because they want to be heard, they want to belong to the ruling party, they want to belong to the popular party so that they can, well, maybe to get more of crumbs or whatever, or to get more recognition, or to get appointment and whatever it is, or to be critically support a party that they think, okay, I can get something, rather than a party that is in disarray, or a party that they know that it is not sure. Don't forget the election is coming. Election is coming soon, and they want to align themselves with the political party that they think will win, because they are seeing things, in future. And if you are staying in a party that is in disarray, what opportunity do you think you have?
Okay.
Do you think you can still win that election? They want to come back. So they want to win elections. So they have to go to the popular party, and the party they think that can give them that mandate. So they have to go and align with the party, and that is what you see. So I still call it personal interest.
All right. Why you establish that? A fragmented opposition, they say, often drives mass movement to the ruling party. Now, why is it so stringent to settle internal party conflicts from this part of the world, if truly what politicians are chasing is for the interest of the people?
Yeah, the reason why I said is a personal interest. Any politician, it's his own personal interest that comes to first. Because if you're representing the people, then if there is a chaos, there's disarray in your own political party, it bestows upon you to make sure that that is resolved. It bestows upon you to find a lasting peace to that political party, and to put yourself together to let your people know that, look, we can do this together. But what we see is me, myself, and I. That is what we see. Because whatever that is not going to favor me, I'm not going to consider the people. I'm going to consider myself. And that is what we see happening. And that is why they are moving. They are defecting in exodus to other political parties. Because the interest is not of the people that put them there.
All right.
Some of them, they even know how they get there. It's not actually about the votes of the people. And that is why some of us are still advocating for separating the vote of the National Assembly away from the president vote, so that you are not using the same day. And you are now saying that because once you vote for president, you automatically vote for all the, because that is the understanding people still have.
Okay.
We are not knowledgeable enough to separate the presidency from the Senate. So if they campaign, the senators, the House of Rep members, they go to their constituency and they campaign, and people then vote for them. Then we'll be talking about them representing their people. Okay. But in most cases, that is not the case.
All right.
And that is why they can easily defect without the consent of their constituencies.
Without rancor, thank you. Now, Akin Fatoke, quickly now, some fear that a legislature dominated by the ruling party may become a rubber stamp. Now, how can this be addressed with impact to legislative oversight?
I will tell you that I was making a reference to Henry David Thoreau,
right,
in saying that it is really not what you look at that matters.
Okay,
it's what you see. De jure, it looks like when you don't have your acts together, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
We've passed through this movie before. We had situations where a particular party in this country was controlling more than 80–90%. And the president at that time was talking about retired General Obasanjo. Well, come on, you don't think? And he said, no. If the other parties are not doing what they need to do, what should I do? Did you? But de facto, I understand the concept of allow others to also have
a voice,
have their say have their say and have their way. But if you say others should have their say and have their way and refuse to want to have their way and have their say in a race that is 100 meters dash, and I say, okay, look, hold my leg. Okay, allow you to start. And what you do is that you face the opposite direction. What exactly are you doing? And on a very serious note, Mike, it's a very simple process. In 2023, what's and all?
Final thought because of time.
What's and all?
Yeah.
I am settled that current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not have found it easy to have won this election.
Okay.
He won the election because the opposition was strategiless.
Okay. They had no strategy.
And the strategy was, who should lead us? Yeah. Who should come? And then you split your vote. And we are now faced exactly with the same thing.
Okay, so in one word now, because of time.
Yes.
What is your stand on the accusation of being a rubber stamp if they have too much in the house?
I think when they say that you are blind and you think you see, it is your duty to begin to whistle. Okay, and to the lane that when you are frying the groundnut, whistle and even whistle in local language. My point is, yes, you still must be the semicolon and the comma in the house. However, Mike,
quickly, time.
If I see that you are going to drown, and I say, please don't jump into the river because you are going to drown, and you will see that it's my fundamental right to jump into the river, and I try my possible best, and then you're calling me a rubber stamp because I attempted to catch you.
That's all for now. Thank you so much.
That would be a tough one.
And of course, my guest has been communications consultant and CEO, Chronicler Associates, Akin Fatoke. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Mike,
and of course, legal luminary Olayinka Daniels, thank you so much for actually holding forth for us as well. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
And that's our show for today. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media